Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to what is round 6, also known as the halfway point of the F120 season, located at a very nice circuit known as Zandvoort, known in the Netherlands. Very, very fast-flowing track, but very, very long race here tonight. 76 laps, but no chance of rain compared to what we were supposed to see last week. Hopefully there's no issues today. Hopefully it's all smooth sailing, because it's a longer race to say the least. But obviously safety cars are also going to be in play in this track. It's definitely a track that's a bit more difficult to overtake compared to some of the others. Slipstream and DRS are mainly known for on the start-finish straight, and I'm not sure if there's any other place. In fact, I don't think there is, because I think that's the only major straight here on this race. As we do wait for one-shot qualifying to start here. We are just going to check if the stream is live. I think everything is live. It looks like the bot is saying everything is live as we now hop in board with game. So we do now see in the garage waiting to do one-shot qualifying. Usually it will be a bit loud, so we might have to adjust audio quality during the race, but that is what to expect. Got the little starting time ready. Seems we're going to use the entire time. It seems good start already, but one-shot qualifying, one shot to do it. So if anyone does go out, that's why you will see the unfortunate retirement from the session, as we are on board already with a car that's already dropped down pretty much all the way down the orders, which isn't something you usually see very often. But he's stopped the track. Not sure what's happened there, but going board with the actual leader so far. Well, one of them that are fighting for. And that's a good start. Disqualified for going the wrong way. Board with the Haas now currently in P3 on track. Not the place you want to be, to be honest. Yeah, it's all very up in the air right now, because it seems everyone's having better times than others, but then they also improve at the same time. I also want to apologise. I've been on commentary all day, and I'm also racing a 24-hour race at the same time, so there's a lot in the air, to say the least. Does seem a driver who is actually going back up in the order is Kryplax, the Alpine car, who is predicted about P4, P5 if he can keep this lap together. We do see, unfortunately, 4 retirements so far for not being able to keep it on the track. But however, Kryplax is looking good to potentially even take a podium step here as he goes across the final corner. It might not be enough a podium step. Goes across the line, and the 108.8 by bids to take pole position there. But it seems Kryplax will be taking a whopping P4 here, which is a very good start there for the Brit. I believe he's British. No, he is not British. Never mind. I'm not even going to try and mention what brag that is. It does seem bids for the Brit in the Aston Martin with a 108.8. Really close time though with P2. Specky Cabbage with a 108.9, just under a tenth of a second between P1 and P2. Miles, a fellow Welshie, down at P14 with a 111.6. So there is quite a big gap in time difference here, as you can see, as we get ready for the actual race here. So we have our first disconnect of the lobby. That's never good. We are running practically a full lobby here tonight compared to what we saw last race. I think we are running 20 cars, but we are at a max of 21 because I take up the commentary space. So unless Jeremy's here as well, which Jeremy isn't here tonight, but then it would be 20 cars. But Jeremy isn't here, so 21 cars is the max. Not sure where Jeremy is, but Jeremy isn't able to make it here today, unfortunately. So I'm going to be waffling to myself for as long as I know. Hopefully stream has gone up now. So it has gone live, which is good to see. I'll just wait for the drivers to go as we are going green here with 5 red lights, and we are now green here for round 6 here at Zandvoort as we go green, and it does seem Bids gets a really good start, but we do also see Specky Cabbage just tucking away behind him. Bids getting a really good start there. Seems everyone gets past pretty cleanly. There is a person already stopping on track back in the order, but we do see Bids already getting quite a good time on everyone else. But at the moment, it does seem the Petronas car is going to try go for the inside line on the Haas. It's not going to work just yet. He's going to have to stay behind DRS, not enabled on this lap, as we've already got a caution going on to sector 1. Not sure what's happened there. Cryplex, another car who seems to not have made any improvements in the race so far, but that's usually a good thing, as there's still a good 71 laps left to go, and a lot of this lap left as well. And obviously, when it comes to DRS, that's going to be an assist that Cryplex and other drivers will definitely use to their advantage. Even though there's not much overtaking zones on here apart from that one. And another thing we need to keep on mind again today, with a longer track like longer race like Zandvoort, we also have to deploy ERS more efficiently than what we would have to use around some other tracks. But we do see another yellow flag going into sector 3. Seems it might have been Jackie Gabbana in the McLaren going down to P19, unfortunately for him. Cryplex now trying to get the slipstream on the others. It's not going to work just yet for him, as we've already got a safety car going on to the first lap. There seems like Cryplex losing a position, unfortunately, and the safety car position. But no, he is going to get it back, and he's actually going to lose the front wing there. Cryplex unfortunately losing his front wing due to a Haas stopping on the track. What is happening here, boys? This is probably the messiest safety car I've seen in a while. I'm assuming the Delta is all over the place, so I'm not sure what's happening here. But lap 2 safety car is never a good thing, but I'm assuming everyone who does come into pit now is going to try go on to better tyres. We do see Mafranjo, driver who wasn't here last race, but he's been here for most of them, in P18 on those hard tyres already. Not sure if that's the case. We do see a Haas going on the grass there. Not sure why he's there, or if he's going to try to get back, as we now get the possible race strategies here. It might be a 4-stop race, or it might be a 5-stop race. It's all up in the air right now, but you need to obviously do at least one compound of tyre, so medium to soft, soft to mediums, hard to mediums, hard to softs, etc, etc. You can't just go soft to softs. I'm hoping most of you would know that already. Welcome in on Jimmy. I don't really know what you've just seen, and I'm also quite in shock with myself, but a safety car on lap 2 is always a great start to see at Zandvoort, and we do have 70 laps left of this race. Not sure how long we'll be under the safety car conditions. I'm going to assume probably 3 or so laps, as it usually is. But it's a good start, that's for sure. Cryplex actually losing 2 positions under safety car, which is kind of weird. Not sure why that would have been the case, but he is still in quite a good position. Actually, he seems like he's going to go into the pits. It already changed tyres on those soft tyres as he does crash into the wall. I assume he's going to try and change tyres and change his front wing after getting a tiny bit of damage. You can see one of his wing plates to be missing on the side of it, as they do replace the wing there, as we can see. It's a wing on top of a wing, but that's just buggy EA for you. He comes out, he's going to be further down the grid. In fact, he's going to be P20. That is a bit of a costly move, doing a safety car rebuild, but usually it does help you quite a bit if you have a broken wing. But Bids now obviously still leading this race. We don't see the name of Crossfire anymore. It seems he has fully retired from the season after what me and Jamie witnessed in round 4, I believe it was. But not sure if that's going to happen again with any of the drivers. Hope not, because it's a bit of a unsportsmanlike behaviour, you could say. But sometimes that does happen, and you just got to move on with it. Obviously, there's enough reserve drivers to actually be able to continue having a fullish grid, but we are down on 20 cars today instead of the 21. So it's a bit unfortunate, but hey ho, it does make it good racing, as a safety car does come in this lap. As we'll stay on board with Bidge here, who needs to get the better start. He can go any time from when the safety car disappears. So he's going to start backing off a tiny bit, and he just wants to try and catch Specky and the rest off guard a tiny bit, and just try and jump a bit of the start. There won't be any sort of DRS this lap. It will be next lap. We will see the DRS in place. We do see Specky getting overly close there to the leader of bids. Aston Martin scoring quite a few points the last race as well. He gets all over the back of him there. He needs to be really careful with the sweeping of what bids is doing to try keep tyre temperature. But we're now just waiting to see who goes. He's actually going to go side by side here, going into the corner as we wait for Bids to go. Bids has gone, as we can see now. It has come off guard slightly, but it goes straight for the inside line. It is going to work, and he stays in P1 for now. He's on those medium tyres compared to what Spec. He's on those soft tyres. And the same with what what Gandhi is on the soft tyres as well. So these two being on the soft tyres is going to put Bids under a lot of pressures. We have seen a Sector 1 caution already. Hopefully that's not going to be another safety car, because this is where, if we see these amount of safety cars, it's not going to be the greatest of witnesses to say. As we've already seen a safety car in the first 4 laps of this race, so hopefully not. But I do like to see safety cars mid-race. It does make the pack a bit more closer. So if someone can crash halfway through the race, that would be greatly appreciated. But it does seem, though, the Haas is going further and further down the order. Not sure what's happened there, but it seems he has recovered it into P13 there. Going back on board with Cryplex in P18 right now. Has to try gain back these positions that he unfortunately lost under the safety of the car because of the wing incident. He is still on the 89-ish% ERS, so he's still got plenty of ERS to use, but you don't want to be using it too much towards the start, but you can harvest it when it starts to get a bit calmer throughout the race. Bids still having quite the outcome as we do see him going side by side into turn 1. He's going to have the inside line. The BWT of the Alpine does have it, but is Bids going to be able to carry it on? No, he is not. It does seem there's going to be a change for lead, and there's almost a crash there from Bids, but it does seem the Alpine does go into the lead. Specky Cabbage on those soft tyres is going to help him out, but it does seem Bids is going to be a tiny bit eager to try and get past, but it's not going to work. In fact, he lost a lot of time braking a bit later going into turn 3. And now we do see him further down. He's on 54% ERS compared to what Specky's on 46. So it seems the leaders are on quite low ERS for so little time into this race. But going further down, it seems there's a bit of a redemption arc by the McLaren here. Or Sausage Joe, a driver who is one of the reserves, I believe. Trying to put some pressure there on Brand in the Haas. Getting in the slipstream, it's not going to be close enough though. It's the same with Finn. Finn's close, but not close enough as well. But he's all over the back of him, trying not to outbrake himself, going into the back of the Haas. But that hasn't happened just yet. In fact, there's a bit of a lag spike there, as we do see Sausage Joe, though, is still on 89% ERS, as we do see a caution in Sector 3. Not sure who that could have been. Josh Rosso not having the best of times so far, going in P18 is. It does seem Cryplex, though. P15, so going up in the order. I'm going to keep my eye on Cryplex because he actually interests me because of that pit stop issue that he had with the front wing. So if I'm rooting for Cryplex this time. I don't usually root for drivers, and if I do, it's probably a McLaren because I'm a McLaren fan. But today I'm going to be rooting for Cryplex. I don't usually root for drivers, but hey ho. Gandhi's going up into P2, so there's been a change once again for, well, the podium, you could say, but it's actually quite a big gap there between P1 and P2, so I'm not sure what's happened there. And we do need to see Specky Cabbage trying to go off. Hang on, why is Bids in P11? That must have been what the caution was. Bids must have spun somewhere. He did have a bit of a sketchy outcome going into turn 1, as we saw in the start of the race. But he's down in P11 now, which means something has happened with him. It doesn't seem he has any damage. He is locking his brakes a lot, so he's overheating them. But can he try and get those places back? I'm sure he's probably not the happiest of drivers right now, being down to P11 from pole position. But that's going to leave a lot of other drivers and put this position of pole up in the air now for absolutely anyone, as it does seem the two leaders have started to create a bit of a gap to the rest of the field because they are on those soft tyres. But that is a disadvantage as well, because the rest of the grid is primarily on those medium tyres, which is also going to cause him, well them, sorry, because it's more than one, to have to pit earlier unless there's another safety car, which is something that's very unpredictable in pretty much any sort of motorsport, is to predict a safety car. But at the moment, I'm not going to jinx anything, but everything's looking still quite promising in terms of cleanness of the racing. And so that's the first 3-second time penalty. This is quite a difficult track to get a 3-second time penalty for multiple track cuts, but William Talbot has been able to do that, so congratulations to you. Does seem he's going to have the slipstream and the DRS now, as the DRS has now been active, but it seems everyone else is going to have the DRS as well, so it's not going to be too effective unless he uses. As we do see, there's another safety car, I believe. Have we actually got another safety car? Yeah, it does seem we have another safety car. Seem Diane Miles is out of the race. Lads, I said a safety car towards the end of the race, not now. But does seem going back on board with Cryoplaxia, who's been able to make 6 positions so far since the last safety car 4 laps ago. Can he get closer towards the top of the grid? He was looking quite promising with the qualifying results, but with that broken rear wing that he had, not rear wing, the front wing that he had earlier on into this race, it might cause a bit of havoc for him during this race, having to try go past drivers that are potentially slower than him. I'm not going to say are slower than them, because I'm not sure about anyone's pace still, really, but it does seem the drivers that are faster in some of the races are slower on other races, but that's just because of personal preference of tracks, I believe, and setups. And setups are something I don't get in this game. As some of you might know, I'm an ACC commentator, so stuff like this is still very new to me, but I do like the concept of the safety car and obviously the overtaking assist, such as DRS and ERS, and it does make racing quite a bit closer. Brand's been given a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit, as we can see him going into P9 now. Not sure if Cryplax will go into the pit. I'm assuming not, because he's still got quite relatively fresh soft tyres on as he goes up into P12 just by overcutting people in the pit, as he did pit during the first safety car, and I believe he was the only one who did. But the people on the hard tyres are going to start seeing this advantage soon, as they don't have to pit during safety car or just in general for quite some time, which is definitely going to cause them as well quite a bit of an advantage compared to the soft tyre users such as Cryplax and the rest of them, as we do see the safety car's got to go on to lap 10 as well. Good evening, John. Good to see you. It's probably not evening for you. Actually, you're 6 hours behind, so yes, it will be the evening or late afternoon, depending on how we judge. And Mafrandro as well, who's actually in this race, probably using his AI to drive, I assume. Well, actually, where is Mafrandro? P11. We'll give Mafrandro some screen time there. Currently in P11, probably around the halfway point of the grid, as you could say. Doing quite well. Good to see you, Mafrandro. And also good to see you as well, John. You weren't streaming today, John, I don't think. If you were, I didn't see it. I've seen the safety car isn't going to go in this lap, going back on board with the leader now. The safety car is going to stay out for at least one more lap. This is where you need to start trying to... yeah, this is what we see. We do see Specky has been able to get all of its ERS back. Same with pretty much all of the grids here. Being able to use the safety car as an advantage to harvest your ERS. I feel like Jackie might start struggling a bit, but it seems pretty much everyone has got their ERS back, as we do see a few users going into the pit as we speak to try and get better tyres, and that's why you'll see on the tyre life in the top, well, not the top left, but on just relatively on the left side of your screen, the ages of tyres. But the biggest winner right now on track will be Nick F1 with 13 positions gains, and the biggest loser, unfortunately, is going to be Josh Rose in the Red Bull, losing 9 positions since the start of this race, but it's followed with Bids as well, who unfortunately went all the way up from P1 down to P11 due to a spin, but is starting to make a bit of redemption there in P9. Aston Martin P9 and 11. Fandre being able to go up 6 positions since his qualifying result. Oh, I'm your dinner entertainment. No pressure. What are you having for dinner, John, and why is it like brisket? safety car in this lap. So we will see now if Cabbage can actually be able to get off the start as quickly as we did see Bids, or if he's going to lose positions from this. Cabbage being able to do most of this race in pole, as we do see there's quite a big gap now. The safety car has formed due to this incident that we saw. Going quite slow here. It's going to really push his tyres now on the heat side of stuff. Do you see Bids now unfortunately going down a position from safety car positions, as we do see now Cabbage has gone. Has the rest of the field gone? Yes, they have, but it seems Cabbage has been able to make quite a big gap already. Going through it. Is he going to use his ERS? Yes, he is. He's using quite a bit of his ERS already. About a quarter gone. Going into the first corner now. About 3/4 of the race left to go. This is where we need to be a bit careful with people and the ERS deployment. We've already had 2 people unfortunately leave the session due to safety car reasons, and now we do see Gandis is doing quite a good job, but is he using more? Yes, he is using more ERS deployment than we do see Specky is using, but that is to be known. Pork tenderloin with rice and broccoli. Ah, don't make me hungry, man. Oh, I'm still racing in that 24 hours of Spa, by the way. We're already halfway through it, and it's not going good. Is that rain we see? No way. Is rain being a factor in this race already? I'm not sure if Jamie's still there, but Jamie, if you can give me a weather update, that would be quite nice, because I think that's rain. Is that rain? There is rain in this session. This was not going to be a rainy session, but it seems there are rain droplets going on the screen. This is going to make this a huge factor more difficult for the drivers. We weren't expecting rain during this race by the weather report, but now we've got the rain. We will start seeing the DRS to be undeployed very shortly when the track has become too wet. We do see everyone is on those slick tires, so they are definitely not expecting this rain. But how long can you actually stay out on the rain with slick tires for is the question. It doesn't seem to be too hard of rain, but this is EA, so it could be a flooded track within seconds. However, going back on the driver who I have been rooting for most of this race. Now, Cryplax in P11 gets quite a bit of a job behind him, with 2 cars being pretty much right behind him, and has quite a big gap to Jackie as well of about 4/10 there, which is quite a lot when it comes to F1. But it does seem now this is where we do see the cars are going to start struggling, as we do see the Haas tries to get past Cryplex. It has worked there, unfortunately, in Cryplex's behalf. And now we do see as well Josh Rose going for the move, and he has been able to get the move done. William Talbot as well, all getting past Cryplex through that first few corners of sector 3. DRS is still enabled, so we are probably going to have about 1 lap of DRS to actually have this, but it does seem Cryplex unfortunately losing positions left, right and centre here. Josh Rose trying to go for a move on him now. It's not going to work. These 3 drivers are getting very loose, as we do see William Talbot getting loose going through the end of turn 1. That's where we do see usually the spins occur, and especially with those wet curbs, as we do see Cryplex spinning, unfortunately going on the curb and touching a car. Is that going to be damage for the back of his car? It does seem his rear wing is still intact after lightly hitting the curb, but it's starting to get a bit difficult for these dry tires, so you need to start picking for wet tires in the next few laps if it enters, or you go for full wet tires. That's all to be done for us. We have a safety car. I'm not sure what the safety car has been caused by, but I'm going to assume it might be because of the rainy conditions and people spinning left, right and centre. We're going on board with the leader now. This is going to be the second relaunch of the cars. We will see the DRS now becoming disabled in the next probably few corners. It's becoming quite badly wet here. 59% ERS. You want to start building back the ERS, as you can see the Alpine of Specky Cabbage is doing. Is he going to go in for new tyres then, I wonder? It's probably going to be better idea here for the softs with 12 laps on them. It's not going to be a good idea. So we do see William Talbot back in the grid, also trying to go into the pit, but we do see Gandis and Specky coming in as well. But it seems half the grid's going to come in for those wet tyres, so this is what we're going to have to see. Are they going to go wet or inters? It seems most of them are going to go in inters, but how bad's the rain actually going to be for Oh, good to see you, Riddle Time. I haven't seen you in quite a while. Hope you're doing well, mate. Use an ACT race control today. I'll let you. No, got Spa 24 hours that I'm taking part in. But yeah, you are right. There's no Porsche this year, luckily. That's probably why he's gone. I 100% agree. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It hugely helps out Formula Racing League on both the ACC side and the F1 side. I will be back commentating ACC Formula Racing League from I think the 18th of April with the Pro-Am series on a Thursday night, but I'll be continuing the rest of the FRL 100% series as well, as long with obviously the other commentators that are here, Ricky, Raven, and there's a few others I can't name on the top of my head. There is usually a stream most days yet. Cheers, Riddle. Means a lot, bro. I've been on comms pretty much all day today, so my voice is definitely feeling it. I think we peaked at 110 viewers, though, on my last stream, so that was pretty cool. So we now just wait for the safety car to go in. I believe it might be coming in next lap. As we do see now, Cabbage has been able to get all of his ERS back, and it's the same with pretty much every driver here. However, we do see once again Jackie's seeming to be struggling with trying to regain all of his ERS, and it's going to be the same with Cryplax as well. Cryplax having to use a lot more to try and catch up after the spin he did have earlier on. Now this is what really counts, as we do see there's been a fluctuation in positions. Now unfortunately the person who has lost the most amount of positions is Cryplex with 11, but it's very close with Bran and Bids losing 9 and 7 positions. But the biggest winner right now is Nick F1 still with 13 positions to his name, so he's went up a good 13 positions, going from P18 from the start of his qualifying. Sad, really. Get you and your Porsches out of here, mister. This is the first day I have not seen a Porsche all day. And so I'm not letting you ruin it with your Porsche bystanders. No, we do not need a Porsche F1. If we're not getting an Audi F1, we're not getting a Porsche F1. End of story. Even though I don't even know if Audi's going to happen. They've came in as a power supply now, but coming from an actual team perspective, I don't know what's happening with that. I'm sure some of the F1 enthusiasts who are probably asleep will probably know better than me. Do you see now safety car is in this lap, so we will go back on board with Cabbage in the RP and followed by Gandhi's as well to see who actually gets the better start here. It is starting to look more and more like a flooded track now, so how long these inters will actually last for is the question, as those curves are going to be deadly because of the paint. It's going to be very ungrippy, but that's all something that has to be play for now. We do see the safety car has gone in, and we do see Specky has gone here, but we don't see Gandis going just yet. He's not on full power. You can hear it now. He's on full power, just trying to be able to take the corner properly. Cabbage gets a really good start there. However, we do see the rest of the grid as well, as we do see a very swerving Neck F1 to trying to take P4. He has been able to do, but there is still the inside line for Alpha of the Finn. But it does seem there's another caution going into Sector 1. If we get another safety car within the third quarter of the race, I'm going to cry. But it seems the Alfa Romeo keeps the position for now. Nick F1 looking like he's going to try to use all of his advantage now to try to get past. This is the best time ever for him to get past. He does have more DRS and ERS than ever, but DRS will be disabled. I'm not sure if it's disabled just yet, but it will definitely be disabled in the next few laps, that's for sure. Do you see what he's gone really? Gandis has gone really wide there. Looks like he's able to recover it, taking out the 150 board as well, but it seems no one's giving him any space, and he has gone into the wall there, losing his entire front wing, it seems. No, he actually manages to... Oh, no. Oh, I forgot the ghosting. If that was ACC, we know what would have happened there, but it seems he has lost one of his wing plates on his front wing there. after a bit of a spin incident. He's went wide, but unfortunately he is going to have to try going to the pits without a safety car advantage. Oh, I just realised this is a full race. Tough go. This is really nothing to compare to what I've been doing recently. I did 4 hours and 50 today. So yeah, it's going to be closer to 6 hours and 70 by the time I finish today. And then I've got a Spa 24-hour stint at 11:30, I believe. So I've got a full day, to say the least. But last week, or is it the week before, I think I had about 15, 16 hours in commentary. So yeah, it's tough going, but I do enjoy it. So that's why I do it so fully. Actually, some very cool stuff coming up. I'll probably have the post on my Twitter when I have the contract go through, but that is something that is coming up that I need to hopefully announce soon if it goes through. Does seem now there's another safety car potentially happening. No, we are still yellow, not yellow, still green here. You've got a good voice for it. Now I'm curious whether Zandvoort is going to dry out. By all means, stay. Chatting always makes it a lot easier. Uh, Somehow my voice hasn't died, but yeah, March has been more my off month, believe it or not. I've only been commentating 1 or 2 times a week, compared to what April's got to be like. That's a different story. I think I'm doing 6 or 5 days a week. So there's going to be a lot going on then, but we do see Mafandro now trying to get closer on Brand in the House F1, but loses a lot of time going on the exit of turn 3. Obviously, there is no DRS now, so it's all down to ERS for any sort of overtaking advantages. And the slipstream as well. The slipstream isn't going to help too much unless you're close enough. That's what the DRS really helped with. Di Miles, a fellow Welshie, unfortunately out of the session now on those medium tyres earlier. That caused him to spin. I believe he did overheat his tyres, which did cause all of that to happen. But overheating your tyres is going to be practically impossible now unless it's a really hot track. But we do see the Alfa Romeo of Finn getting past Nick F1 once again. And now Kevin in P2 in the Alfa Romeo, the Alfa Tauri, sorry. Getting a lot of pressure there from Finn for P2. I didn't expect Kevin to be up there so quickly because he was out of nowhere, to be honest. But now we do go on to the start-finish straight. He is going to have the slipstream. You can see the slipstream is slightly working, but it's not going to work enough. And he is actually using his ERS to stay in range with him. However, we do also see Kevin is using quite a bit of it as well. So 20-ish laps into this race now. We do see a person going into the pits now. If that's going to be for wet tyres or trying to replace your wing, that's another thing you'll have to find out, as we do see him going in. Seems he is changing his tyres for more inters and also changing his wing. So yeah, there was a bit of wing damage there from the other Haas driver as he goes out now. At the moment, I don't believe this track will dry out. It seems the clouds are too packed to be able to, but the rain doesn't seem too strong, so we might be able to see a dry line forming throughout this race. But we have seen this before, going into Portamo. I believe it was race 2, where it was me and Jemmy who was in chat earlier, but it went from practically full sunshine to fully wet in a matter of probably 10 laps, and then it did dry up once again, but it didn't dry up enough for it to be really sketchy. P3 once again under a lot of pressure from, well, both Nick F1, but Kevin is also putting a lot of pressure there on Finn. So this is all for position, as we do see Specky Cabbage in the Alpine has made it such a big gap now, 4.5 seconds odd to P2, and with battling like this it might even be even more, as we do see a bit of a mistake there from Kevin in the AlphaTauri. Sorry, I'm back. I had to change the channel of my microphone because one of them just died. One of my mics is wireless, so that's why sometimes that usually happens. But yeah, I just completely forgot to charge it. But now we do see, as I come back, it does seem Josh Rose is getting close. In fact, there is going to be another retirement from the session. This is going to be another safety car. 21 laps into this race, and it is going to be 1980s Wildcat, the only, I was going to say the only Ferrari, but I now have just seen OG still in the race. Cryplax, once again, driver I've been keeping my eye on quite a bit, currently in P13 in the Alpine, trying to gain back. This is where the safety car is going to put a lot of difficulty in some of the drivers, especially the leader who had such a huge gap between P1 and P2 is now going to just be all down to waste, you could say. Now the safety car is going to be spreading out until lap 27. At least, depending on how bad this actual crash is. But it does seem, unfortunately, that's going to be the second DNF, leaving only 18 cars remaining on this race. So now should see safety car coming in either last lap or next lap. It probably is this lap, thinking about it now, as we do see a few people going in to change tyres once again, it seems. But there are two penalties that have been given out. That is going to both William Talbot and Sausage Joe for a 3-second penalty, which I assume is going to be track limits. And we run with enough fuel to power up a cargo ship at this rate. I feel like everyone, well, I didn't expect to have 3 safety cars on the first 23 laps of this race, to be honest. And I love safety cars, but I don't like when they're neck on neck with each other. Now we do just wait for the safety car to come in, as we do see everyone is once again just formatting single file to try go green once again, and hopefully might be one of the last times we do see a full-on safety car, but I don't believe that we will have no more safety cars. But again, looking at the current positions, we do see Nick F1 still having 14 positions up compared to William Talbot has got 10, which is the top two current top runners in terms of maintaining leads, as we do see Bids unfortunately losing 9 now after starting in pole position. Unfortunately, having that little spin that did lead him to go all the way down to P11, but he is starting to go back as we do see everyone's ERS system should now be fully charged. There might be a few that aren't, but it looks like everyone's is actually fully charged, so this is going to make it a bit more interesting for the drivers. We had none here last season and I ran out, so I want to be careful right now. Make a big mistake. Yeah, fuel around here is very unpredictable, especially with safety cars, when you can lift and coast a lot more to actually gain a lot more fuel. But safety car is in this lap, says race control, as we see it speeding off. Now the Alpine getting ready to start the race at any time once the safety car has entered the pit, so any time from the first, well, the final corner. Do you see the safety car is in the distance now, but it's not close enough, as the Alpine will be going to try catch off Finn off guard to try and get a tiny bit of gap between them both on 100%, so he has gone now. Spiky Cabbage making a bit of a gap for himself, but we do see as well Kevin in the background also getting quite a good start on Finn. Will have the slipstream as well, compared to Specky. You'll have less of the slipstream because of Finn being further and further back on him. In fact, we do see Finn making a bit of a mistake there because of that, and going further back we do see it side by side by Nick F1. That's going to corner him going straight into the wall, and that's going to be another safety car there, and that's going to be Sterl OG. Unfortunately, the other Ferrari going straight into the wall there, and it does seem he is actually still going, which is kind of miraculous to say the least. Currently running in P18 with absolutely no front wing to his name. As you can see there, he's going to be understeering all over the shot there, as he almost can't do any of these corners, which are high aero related corners, and that's going to be another safety car in the span of a lap. Just to say, we're on safety car number 4. And we're 25 laps in. We haven't even done a 50% race, lads. I know I said I liked safety cars, but I didn't say I liked them this much. Fact is, we've had 4 safety cars now in the span of 25 laps, and they haven't been within 5 laps of each other. We haven't had an entire 10 laps without some sort of safety car disruption. William Talbot, though, up 12 positions in P7, as Cryplex as well, another driver who I've been looking on for most of this race, getting all of his ERS charged up to try get back with him, as we should see the safety car come in either this lap or next lap. We'll have to see what race control says about it, but because no one has retired, it's just unfortunate, as we do now see OG going into the pits with the only Ferrari left. Is he going to actually continue the race, or is he going to retire? As we do see, he is going to have that front ring repaired. As you can see, it's absolutely dead there as he gets it repaired. Is he going to continue the race? Yes, he is. He's also going to have newer tyres than most people. In fact, everyone with those 0 lap tyres, compared to a few people who might come into the pits as well. That's something we have to take in mind, but I don't think anyone in the top 5 will, because their tyres are still quite fresh. Inters run for about the same length as medium tyres, if not a tiny bit more, because you don't have the issue of overheating of the tyres unless you spin it. But for now, 12 laps isn't to be concerned about on these tyres, but if there is probably another safety car in the next 5 laps or so, I reckon a few people in the top 10 will probably go for some sort of pit strategy to try and undercut a few other drivers with performance of newer tyre age. just under half of this race left to go. We won't see the safety car come in this lap. We'll see him potentially come in next lap. Most likely the last SE, there's usually a limit. If you've reached the limit of safety cars, that is quite impressive, but not for a good reason. Do you see now? Few drivers are starting to recharge all of their ERS if it wasn't already fully charged. Few people scheduled to come into the pit in the next few laps. But for that, we should see everyone go green this lap potentially. Going into the end of Sector 2, Sector 3 now. Yeah, Craig, if you're still watching, by the way, yeah, there's no chance I'm going to be able to do the 10:30 stint. I would have messaged you that, but there's no chance I will be able to do that 10:30 stint at this rate. But we do see the safety car is in this lap. He is zooming by now as we now go on board with P2 to see if Cabbage can actually get quite a good run here on the rest of the field, or is he not going to be able to catch the other drivers off guard as much as he's been able to in the last 3 safety cars he's been leading. He can go from any time from now. It does seem Finn's going to creep right behind him to try and not lose as much time as he can, as we don't see him go just yet, as we have seen Cabbage has gone and he has actually made quite a big gap for himself now going into turn 1, or to the end of turn 1. So he has actually made about a 4/10 gap to himself, and obviously there is no DRS into the wet, and he actually does see Finn using a lot of his ERS there on the straight, and we do see as well Specky using a lot of his to maintain his P1, as he has been able to for about 25 laps now. Goes in as we do go on with another few drivers. So we do see Josh Rose, who has made quite a few positions up, trying to go side by side there with Nick F1. Doesn't work, and he has lost a lot of time actually, and a lot of positions there trying to get past. But Don Fotherington, his teammate, trying to get past him as well. He was actually going to be the faster Red Bull, not too sure. Going further down, bids in P7, who was originally in P1. As I've said a few times, trying to get past Don Fotherington now, which is going to hold Don Fotherington up. But we do see him going side by side into turn 5. And in fact, it's not going to work for them just yet. And it does seem Nick F1 gets by for now. Mafrandro trying to make a bit of a gap for himself between him and the rest of the pack. Kryplak's actually been able to make a few positions up since that safety car restart. So we now do see Bran and the other Haas as well behind him now, which actually can lead to quite some pressure to him there, as he actually over-revs his car a tiny bit. That's going to lose him quite a bit of time, but he also doesn't want to slip that car, because obviously a few of these drivers won't be using any assists, but assists are allowed both for traction control and ABS, so a few of those people will be using that to the advantage. But I know a few people aren't, as we do see the Haas does go for the inside line, lunges it and manages to get it done, as we got to see that with the other Haas. No, we're not. He is going to have to wait into the next few corners to actually be able to make that move, as he does have the tug behind him. P11 after goes, as we do see there's going to be contact between the Haas and the other car of what seemed to be Mafandro actually, but Mafandro actually going into the walls. The same with the Haas. Is that going to be another safety car? Please say no. But it does seem the Haas is going to be backwards compared to the other car. That's not going to be very happy Bran. And the same with what seems to be Miles SP 2002 as well, who isn't actually a full-time racer here, but it does seem he is back up running, and there is going to be no safety car, and we probably have reached that safety car limit, as we are not even halfway into this race, as we do see Finn getting the back end of his Alfa Romeo out. terms of positions and battles here, the only one that does seem to be catching my eye here is Gandis trying to get these positions that he unfortunately lost earlier due to a bit of a spin out and losing a bit of his front wing as well. But we do see him getting a bit of pressure from Joe behind as well, but he wants to try to get past Cryplax as quickly as he can. Cryplax going up into P9. Since the safety car rejoin, he has had a very fluctuated start of this race and the qualifying, as we did see him qualify P4, going all the way down to P20 due to a damaged front wing during the safety car period. As we do see Gandis going for an inside line, going through turn 1. Is it going to be able to work? Yes, it is. Are we going to see a safety car there? There is a section 1 and 3 caution. Is that going to be a safety car? I'm not sure. There has been a retirement now. If that is a manual retirement, we'll find out. Now, there is still a safety, not a safety car, a caution that could turn into a safety car at any point from now, but it is not going to be a safety car when we continue racing here. Now we do see Cryplax under a lot of pressure here from Joe from behind in that McLaren, who has more. Oh my days, that was closer. There's actually going to be contact between both of them going into turn 8. And we're going to see now Cryplax unfortunately going back into his original start position from the safety car rejoin. But can he try to make any sort of move and retaliation back from Joe? I'm not going to be too sure just yet. To be fair, he does have still quite a bit of ERS. He can probably sacrifice a tiny bit of it going into it, but I'm not sure. However, we do see Joe still has a lot of his left. So Cryplax might be in a bit of trouble here of trying to keep his ERS in a sustainable percentage. We do see now Cabbage once again starting to make a bit of a gap for himself, but we won't see any sort of dry conditions for at least the next 5 or 10 laps. Looking at the weather, I don't have any weather radar, so it's all down to my predictions here. So don't fully quote me on that if you are racing on it. I should have the spreadsheet open, but I think the admin seem to use that, as some of the commentary features in this game are a bit scuffed. But P8 now. Don Fotherington trying to get past Williams. But this is what we have seen in the past in F123 100% season. It's been not Williams, Mercedes versus Red Bull for quite a bit of it as well, and they are quite close in the championship. Josh Rose was quite far up in a few of the races starting the season, with Paul Ricard being quite a good starting with Crossfire, who unfortunately retired with the McLaren season, putting one of the reserve drivers into a permanent seat for the rest of the season. You see a lot of overtake usage there by Don Fotherington. It's not going to be too bad though, as he just tucks himself behind. Does seem the chat is kind of getting a bit rowdy, to say the least, but I won't be getting into any of that. We do see, though, unfortunately, Don Fotherington losing his position due to the very strong slipstream and ERS usage that we saw Gandis just use there. And the ERS system is around, I think, is 160 to 250 horsepower, if I am correct, which is enough to be about a small minivan. So there is definitely quite a big difference compared to the full engine usage and the hybrid system as well. So it is a very, very key essential part of the F1 engine system, and being able to manage it is all about it. As you see, meanwhile, Moody here, who is currently running in P15, along with Mafandrew, who unfortunately lost quite a few positions there since the start of the rejoin, I believe. We do see, though, meanwhile, Moody on still 100%, so not using any of his ERS usage just yet to try and stay with the pack. I feel like that is a strategy, and he's probably waiting for another safety car in the next coming laps, which I don't believe we'll see a 5th safety car. Well, I hope we don't either. But again, as I said earlier, safety cars are very unpredictable in pretty much any game you see. Getting closer now to the halfway mark of this race. Still a long way to go, though. So it seems the last safety car was caused by a spin that did take someone's front wheel, which was the Ferrari Austral OG, who we can see unfortunately DNF'd in P17 there. The fourth retirement of this session. You know, so I have a Lucasade next to me, and if I keep sipping on it, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. We do see Bids trying to get a bit of pressure there from what seems to be Gandis behind. It's not going to work just yet. He does tuck to take the racing line to try and take full advantage. You have to now coast half of this line now due to the wet, but it does seem the banking's going to help him coming out of the inside. Now he's going to go straight for the inside line, also using a lot of his overtake, not having much of it left at all. 10% left of it, and it does seem Gandis is going to go for the outside line. He's going to tuck it. He's having the overspeed, as we also do see the McLaren as well. Sausage Joe being able to go by, but Gandis does get past, and we do see Sausage Joe stay behind momentarily. If he's going to be able to get by the next few laps, we'll have to see, because we do see Gandhi, who nearly runs a tiny bit wide, still having 52% compared to what we see of Bids. Only having 14% and using his overtake to try prevent Joe from getting by. So this is something that is quite a key element to this ratio. We can see now Bids dropping quite a few positions because of this issue of ERS deployment, as we do see Joe still has 87%, and we can see the rest of the grid as well, yeah, having most of it left, because we only saw the safety car about 5 laps ago. Do you see there is a few factors that are causing now the rain? Not many people were expecting, as we do see now the Aston getting a lot of pressure here from the McLaren of Joe. Let's see, he's going to have a lot of overspeed here and taking all of the ERS that Bids doesn't have. He's going to go side by side. He's going to get the move done even before the start of turn 1. That just tells you how powerful the ERS system is. And not having any of it like Bids, we can see he's probably flatlined at the moment. No, actually, Bids still has a bit of it left, only 22% now, but still only having 22% compared to 84%. There's a range of like 60% there. That has the advantage of that McLaren. That has caused him to lose that position and probably lose a few more, unless there's a safety car that he probably prays to knees. Josh Rose getting closer though to Finn for position, as we do see Josh Rose going from the bottom of the grid as well. The P3 now, the what you could say is the brass bronze, whatever you want to call it, step on the podium. And he tried to continue this reign though of dominance, because he has been quite good throughout the season so far. I think he is leading the championship. I'm not sure how much by, but he's definitely leading the championship. That is a fact. You see this caution in sector 1 and 2, and this is actually going to be Bids, who's going to retire from the session, and a safety car is going to occur here. Oh gosh. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. It's fine. Safety car number 5 in one race, and we haven't got halfway. Actually, no, we are exactly halfway into this race now. This is a good opportunity for the drivers to actually pit for tyres, which I believe most people will, because 22H lap inters probably don't feel the best anymore compared to what they used to at the start of their stint. Cheers, Craig. Enjoy your stint, mate. Good luck. Well, I'll be back before 11. I hope. I think we're still on P29. Big up FGT. You spelled adios wrong, no, bro. That's one thing I'll say. However, what we do see though is Cryplex now slowly going up in the order. P12, unfortunately, seems to have lost a position since then, as we can see on his position. He has unfortunately lost a position since the start of this race. I'm sure Cryplex will be able to do some sort of concoction coming to the end of this race. We do see the other McLaren of Jackie Gabbana behind him as well. £10 here in the UK. I feel like a few of the European drivers might be having quite an interesting night, to say the least, as I feel like we might have one more lap under safety car conditions. As we can see, the safety car is going on to the final few corners of sector 3 and hasn't pulled away yet, so we will see the safety car come in hopefully next lap. Now just wait for the safety car to go off. I'm trying to preserve my voice a bit, because if I have to do another stint after this, which seems I might be doing, I'm not sure what's going to happen now. There's still 8 of you watching. Welcome on into the stream. Hope all is well. I assume a few of them are people who are just lurking in the background while racing. Safety car coming in this lap, as we do see there has been a position change due to the safety car, people going into the pits for new tyres. As we do see now Josh Rose leading the end of the safety car now, instead of Specky Cabbage, who has gone further down the field into P3. So you do see Josh Rose doing a brilliant job there to actually caught off guard Gandis, and has made a 6.5 gap going on to green flag here. As we go further back to see, there is going to be a side-by-side here, which seems to be the Williams. That of Vic F1 trying to go on the outside there of Kevin, not going to work just yet. He has to go behind once again and see what happens with these guys, because they are battling at it once again. These guys are absolutely mental for doing this. But do you see go into turn 3, there is going to be another side-by-side here. It does seem the Alpine's going to have the inside line going into the smallest corkscrew corner. You could say there's actually been another crash there. If that's going to be a safety car, I could cry. Is it going to be a safety car? I'm not sure. None of the cars are slowing down just yet, as we do see there's going to be another side-by-side happening between these two cars. It does seem that AlphaTauri is going to stay in front for now, as I thought Cryplex was able to get past just then, but it doesn't seem he is going to be able to just yet, as Cryplex going up one position since the start of this safety car. I feel like this is going to be the issue with a few of the drivers, if they haven't actually practiced as much as they have from dry compared to wet. It seems to be quite a wet race still, and there has no symptoms of drying up just yet. So we do see now Cryplex still behind, but it does seem Mills makes a bit of a mistake there, and now we could see Cryplex try to go for the inside line. He lunges for it. It's going to be contact between both of them, a tiny bit of jaw rubbing. It does seem Cryplex goes up into P10, and Mills SP 2002 goes up down into P11, and looks like he's under a lot more pressure as well. So there's actually going to be another humongous moment there from P14 as he goes slow after one hell of a save there as he goes into the pits. We do see another few drivers as well. Seems he stalled the car as well. Coming on in as we do see Specky Cabbage taking the lead once again from Josh Rose. That's all down to ERS deployment there. It does seem 72%, and he also has the fresher tyres as well. So he's got pretty much every other advantage as it does seem. He is going to go side by side, and there's going to be contact there. It's going to be Nick F1 going into the barriers, it seems. Not sure if he's going to be able to... Is he going to be able to compete in the rest of the race now? That's something I'm not able to tell you just yet, as it does seem he is still... He is going again. Has he got damage to his front wing? I can't tell you. No, he does not. Not being the greatest of races now for Nick F1. He's going to have some hotter tyres as well, which is going to cause him to be a bit down and behind now, as we do see. Now going P4. It's going to be a bit of a loose goose moment there from Finn. He's now going to be under a lot of pressure here from Joe as well, who looks to have a bit of a damaged front wing. Not sure if that's just my vision. I believe it might be my vision. Seems both of his wing plates are actually on. I think it was just a spray that was covering it up. This huge battle might start having, as we do see what seems to be Gandis trying to go for a move on the inside line of Josh Rhodes. Is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he breaks later. They've got to be contact between both of them, but it does seem going into the first corner now. Gandis does get the move for P2 and probably has more. Does he have more ERS? Yes, he does. About 10% more ERS than what Josh Rose does, so there is another advantage there for him. But he is also on newer tyres as well than Josh Rose, but it's still quite old tyres, which is going to cause Specky to actually go off into the distance once again, already getting 1.5 seconds with all of them as well battling. That's going to be another factor that's going to cause these drivers to lose time to the pole. Does seem this train of cars is starting to get a bit rowdy again. Does seem now Don Fotherington looks like to be under a lot of pressure there from the Haas as well. Or Brad, not sure who has the most amount of ERS yet. This is going to be the huge overtaking factor. As it does seem he's going to go 3 wide. It seems now he's going to go side by side there. Haas getting the move done even before. He's actually going to look for 2 overtakes before it even finishes there. As it does seem he's going to go side by side, still going into turn 2. He backs out there. Probably the more sensible idea. Not trying to cause another safety car. And that's going to be the end of that battle for the time being, as we do see it is going to be a bit rowdy still between these two cars, as they are looking to try and go side by side at literally any time possible to go on board now with the Haas or Bran, who's actually losing a tiny bit of time compared to the other drivers, which is just breaking a tiny bit later. So there's going to be a bit of contact there between both of them. It seems William Talbot was very lucky with not losing front wing there, as it seems the McLaren goes up, and it seems the Mercedes is also going to go up. Joe and William both up into P4 and 5 after Josh Rose loses a position, but he's going to retaliate once again. So we're going to see a spin there from William Talbot. He's going to be in a very vulnerable position here. He needs to try and get back, and if he keeps doing burnouts like that, he's going to overrev his tyres to oblivion. That he is ghosted now. We can see that's not going to be a very happy William Talbot, as we have seen him now from pretty much the top of the grid to the bottom. Now, what we do see now in P6, Brandt very, very close to Josh Roche. Might go for a move going side by side before even the end of the start-finish straight. He is going to get the move done, and he's going to go straight back to the normal racing line. But it's going to be some sort of retaliation from Josh Rose, as we do see. In fact, if he retaliates too much, we do see Don Fotherington as well trying to get past his teammate, as he almost tries looking to go side by side going into turn 2, which isn't always a good idea. In fact, it's never a good idea. However, we do see now Don Fotherington under a lot of attack as well from the Alpine. This is just a 4-way battle, to say the least, and it is the closest battle on track as well. Now Don Fotherington being able to maintain a tiny bit of gap to Cryplex there in P8. Cryplex being able to have a tiny bit of breathing space to the car behind of about 3 seconds. So he doesn't need to worry about anything, just needs to focus on trying to get some sort of car temperature and being able to maintain some sort of temperature. So we do see a bit of a loose moment there from Don Fotherington, and he just needs to focus on going forwards instead of going backwards. It does seem it goes very close going into the chicane. cryPlax now losing a lot of time and a lot of momentum because of that issue. Having to brake unnecessarily because of it. Now this is where I have to see who has the better amount of advantage when it comes to ERS. Does turn off the ERS deployment, and it seems there's going to be a change of position between the two teammates. And Don Fotherington goes for the inside line, as we also got to see cryPlax also go for the inside line after the door was left open there. It's going to go side by side into turn 2. Is there going to be backup? No. Is there going to be a switch back here from cryPlax? He tries to go for it, but he won't be able to do it. But actually on the outside line, yes he will, but has a bit of a loose moment going on the exit. Unfortunately can't get the position done as the DRS is enabled. This is going to cause so much more drama now, as it does seem the track is starting to get drier, as we will start seeing people going on the medium tyres such as William Talbot as well. So the rain has stopped on lap 44 and people will start going on the slick tyres, and we start seeing the racing become a bit more close again. But P13 being on the lap tire on the slick tyres already, is it actually a good idea yet, or is he going to spin out at the moment? He does seem to be faster than a lot of the drivers, so it could be the strategy. We also see Kevin as well in the AlphaTauri in P14 and P15 as well, all going on the slick tyres. So it's probably the call here, as it does seem he gets a bit of a moment there, as it seems Specky Cabbage, the race leader, goes into the pit now, as well as it does seem Gandis unfortunately gets a 5-second penalty, which is going to be quite a lot here, as it seems it's quite close between all of the field. We are still under racing condition, but everyone leaps into the pit lane here. Yeah. It seems the top 3 still on, but they're not even Net P3. Net P1 is going to be Specky Cabbage, followed by Net P2, which will be Gandis, and Net P3, which is Finn. But that can all change in a matter of seconds, as we have seen earlier of previous people, such as Bids, who's unfortunately retired, was in the lead of this race for quite a few laps as well. 28 laps left to go. This is where it gets a bit interesting, as we do see Sausage Joe and Brian going into the pit, and we might even see Jackie Gabbana come into the pit. Yes, we do. Just shows you that tyres will start overheating very quickly, and it can be dangerous, as we do see Sausage Joe go on the soft tyres. Not sure if that is the play yet, but we do only see one person. No, we don't. He's in the pit as well. So we now see Specky back in the lead. Can he start making a bit of an advantage point? Because now this is where it gets a bit close. He needs to try and maintain at least a 1-second gap, so the DRS is not enabled to P2 behind, which is the Mercedes of Gandis for now. P8 though, cryPlax trying to get closer to the back of Josh Rose to try to take P7. He's been very up and down here, cryPlax, for most of the race, but he is a driver who is definitely capable of doing some very good time shares. He was in P4 for qualification, I believe. Only one shot quali, so I feel like it could have changed quite a bit if it was a short time quali or a longer quali, but that is just the interest when it comes to one shot qualification. So we do see him now losing a lot of time, unfortunately, because of this. Gets closer, but it's not going to be close enough, that's for sure. He actually loses quite a bit of time on the X there, unfortunately, cryPlax. He's actually lost so much time now, unfortunately, due to that little error to Josh Rose in front of him, who actually sets the fastest lap. He's also on those soft tyres as well, which is going to help out Josh Rose a lot, trying to gap the field, as now we do see this is where stuff becomes a bit more interesting between the top 3, because they're all within a second of each other, which means the slipstream train is going to be quite intense between them both, or all 3 of them. But Specky Cabbage not having any of those assists of DRS, but has the ERS assist, but isn't going to use it. He's probably going to have to just wait and try harvest as much as you can and try use it towards the end of the race when it comes a bit more intense, as they're all relatively similar in terms of ERS pack usage. P6 as well 60%, but has the DRS as well, trying to get closer to the Haas now, or Brown in P5. Do you see the sun's actually coming out, as we saw a bit of a glare coming off the camera there? So that means the track is got a fluctuating temperature quite a bit as well. It's actually cautioning sector 2. It seems it has been recovered though, so all is good between that. Another caution going into sector 2. Hopefully there's no sort of safety car usage just yet. Maybe one that comes towards the end of the race, and that will probably be the race decider. That is going to be a safety car. This will be the race decider probably, with it probably got to override into the 50th lap. So with only 22 laps left of racing when the safety car is over, it's all going to be play for them. But we do see this is the 6th safety car of the race due to what seems to be a spin. So hopefully it's going to be a shorter safety car. But in terms of penalties, we see a 5 seconds due to speeding in the pit lane from Gandhis in P2. So that's going to definitely fluctuate his position coming into the final parts of the race. Sausage Joe as well with a 6-second penalty, with 2 track limit penalties, the causing of that. Don Fotherington again with a speeding in pit lane penalty with a 5-second, which will also be quite a big impact for him as well. He's currently mid-pack / midfield, you could say. And then as we see William Talbot with an 8-second penalty for 1 speeding in pit lane and 1 cutting track penalty. So now we just have to wait. While I wait, I will quickly become a bit inactive with my voice because I want to try and preserve it for actual racing instead of what's it called, safety car dilemmas. I am still going to be here, so if you are in chat, I will happily talk. So driver, I think, has been doing quite well as Mafandro. He's been quite up and down, but I do respect Mafandro. He does come and chat once in a while as well when he's just idling, but I do respect all of the drivers for actually being able to do an 100% race and not crashing if they have no assists on, because that's also quite an achievement as well, you could say. Here we go. Hopefully about a lap or so left of safety car conditions. You do see there, safety car is coming in this lap. So this could be the end of it all, and we might not see a single safety car to the end of the race. This is going to be the race to the end. As we can see, it's also sunny, which is going to play a huge factor into this as well. So this is what probably everyone's been practicing for with their setups as well. Majority being on the softs and medium tyres. We do see the odd person on the hard tyres, which is Cryplex as well, as we will go on board with P2 once again to see if Cabbage can reign for his 5th safety car and catch Gandhi's off guard. As we do see, he has gone and he has been able to create quite a big gap between them both already, but the gap is being slowly decreased due to some sort of, I'm not even sure what that is. It seems it actually just a bit of a slowdown from Cabbage that's caused him to be all over the back of him there. As we do see him going on the grass a tiny bit, it doesn't affect him too much. He's going to have dirty tyres on the left though, which is going to affect grip for a tiny bit. They are all in the same advantage so in terms of tyre age and tyre compound, both on the, but all 3 of them on the medium tyres, with 7 laps to age of them. Do you see going further down though, we do see Tom Hoverington getting close as well, so we do see a blue flag being raised as well. Not sure what happened there, but it does seem they're all starting to be a bit rowdy with each other now. So we do see meanwhile moving unfortunately get a 3-second time penalty for track limits. That is something we've seen a few times now, but we do see Joe getting closer than other try get past. He is on those soft tyres compared to what we do see is Finn on those medium tyres, so that is something that's going to be an advantage in terms of Joe as well. Still on quite newly aged soft tyres. You can realistically run the soft tyres to the end of the race. It's not efficient though at all, and you're probably risking trying to get a puncture as well. As we do see now going into the first corner, these 3 cars getting very rowdy with each other. Alfa Romeo with Finn trying to get past Gandis as quickly as he can. It doesn't seem to be working just yet for him, but we will just see what happens between these 3 because they are still quite unpredictable in terms of pace and lap times. But we do see Crypax once again, a car that has been seen on stream quite a few times, getting a bit of pressure from behind, but it seems well, that's not even Cryplex, that's why, but it seems Cryplex, yeah, getting a lot of pressure from behind from William Talbot in that Mercedes, but that Mercedes is also on those soft tyres and has newer age tyres as well, which is going to be a humongous advantage towards him as he goes for the inside line going into turn 9, gets the move done pretty swiftly there on Cryplex. Is there going to be any sort of retaliation there from him? Not sure if there is going to be, and he's just going to have to stick behind William Talbot for the time being, just being in the realistic F1 point system now. But obviously everyone does get pit points if they finish the race, which I do think is quite a good thing. As we do see now they go side by side going into the first corner, we do see that Red Bull is absolutely flying, as we do see the DRS is enabled as well, which is going to be another factor to this race, making it a lot closer, as especially they are already so close already going on to the start-finish race. A few of them, as we do see Cryplex once again trying to go side by side. It's not going to work just yet for him. He's going to have to tuck behind William Talbot once again, but he has that DRS advantage as well compared to William Talbot, so that is definitely going to be something that helps him out. But there is no sort of DRS deployment until the start-finish straight. This is probably one of the only tracks that only has one DRS deployment, along with Monaco, and I believe it's Baku as well. Using a lot of time now due to him being on those hard tyres and William Talbot being on those soft tyres, but we will spectate him for the rest of this lap to see if going on to the final start finish straight he can. But actually we do see as well going on to the end of this lap, I thought we might see these drivers as well, but it does seem that Ganders has the slipstream as well, so it's going to be close between them both. But it does seem Finn has a bit of a stronger advantage with the slipstream. He's probably using a little bit of his overtake as well, as you can see on his steering wheel that he has used quite a bit of it as well. It's not going to be enough, but we'll go back on board with Cryplex, who has seemed to go up the position on Don Fotherington. That's not even, no, sorry, I'm getting my drivers mixed up. Do you see now Cryplex all over the back of William Talbot here, going on to sector 2. Oh my days, nearly rear-endering him there, but he managed to get the brakes on quick enough. Cryplex not having any sort of penalty just yet compared to what we see is William and Don Fotherington, who are battling for position, as we see William doing quite a sneaky move there and gets a move done compared to Don Fotherington, who's under risk now of losing the position to Krypax as well. Don Fotherington being on those medium tyres, as we see they might go side by side. He is going to brake later, but it's not going to be late enough. He thinks about the move there, Krypax, but isn't going to go for it. There's actually a spin in the road there, and that seems to be Sausage Joe, the McLaren driver, unfortunately spinning. Hopefully that does not cause a safety car, but we do now see Krypax probably going to use some of his ERS. He only has 24% of it left, bear in mind, to try and get closer than ever to get to Don Fotherington for P8. Oh, but it doesn't work for him there, as we do see Kevin gets by as well. So that was very sneaky from Kevin there. I didn't even see him on the radar, but he used the DRS and his ERS to his advantage to get past Krypax for position. Going back to the leads now, we do see Cabbage isn't having much of a break compared to what he was earlier into this race. Now he has what seems to be Gandis and Finn right behind him on his tail, but then there's quite a big gap for it as well. Does seem like going on the start finish straight. Who's going to have the better advantage in terms of pace? It is going to be Gandis with the DRS. It's not going to be close enough there. It seems Cabbage is doing a good job being able to keep out the pace going into sector 2 and sector 3, where there's no sort of overtaking opportunities for Gandis to get past, as we also do see Finn as well behind him all over the back of them. These three cars are powering each other as some sort of DRS train, you could see. It's all going to be down to who has the most amount of ERS as well, but it does seem 38% there for Finn, 32% for Gandis, and 44% for Cabbage. Cabbage still having the advantage here, as we have a sector 1 and 3 caution, but it seems to have cleared up now. I need to stop drinking Lucas Ale and drink actual water, I think. Finn's going to have that DRS and ERS. It does seem to look to go for the pit then, with the symbol in his bottom right, but it isn't going to be into the pits this lap. He might go in this next lap or in the foreseeable future, because he might have the pit again, because his tyres are starting to take the ropes a tiny bit. As we see, the only person who might not have the pit again is Krypax, with 13 laps of age to his hard tyres. Brown getting really close to the back of Josh Rose now for position. This is where we might see him get the move done going into turn 8 or turn 9, but he's not going to be close enough just yet. That's for sure. He stays behind for now. Bran having to just stay patient going into sector 3. Gets a bit of a loose moment there. That's going to lose him a lot of time to the Red Bull with Josh Rose, but ahead of him. Bran being on the medium tyres and Josh being on those soft tyres, it's going to play a huge factor in this as well, but I feel like the slipstream and ERS that Bran could provide going on to the start finish straight is going to be something that can also help. He has the DRS now. This is where the hopes and dreams are might be over here for Josh Rose as we go into start finish straight. Whizzing past us, gets the move done even before the start of turn 1, and he goes up into P4 and Josh Rose into P5, but this is where Josh Rose might start to strike again in that Red Bull with his soft tyres. But we also see if they run for too long battling with each other, we could see drivers of Nick F1, William Talbot, and even Kevin of FRO Big Balls even getting involved with this fight as well. P11 there, seeming Jackie Gabbana trying to get closer to the back of Cryplex now for position. These two drivers, very capable drivers with one another, but those hard tyres might not be treating Cryplex as well as Jackie Gabbana with his soft tyres with 8 laps left, well, 8 laps of age on them. He has overtake and he's using his slipstream as well. He's actually flatlined his ERS now, which is actually going to help out Cryplex out quite a bit. Cryplex in P10, still having 8%. There's still not a lot between them both, but it's still enough to try and even think of going at. But it seems a lot of people are practically on flatlined ERS. Not many people have pretty much any left actually, so it's probably for the good now. But this is where we see some of the harvesting people who might have been harvesting a tiny bit more, and some of the more offensive drivers, you could say, might start stepping in with their ERS usage. With 12 laps left to go, you could say a short race distance. We don't see any sort of position change just yet. It seems Don Fotherington's looking to get some sort of move done on Nick F1, but Nick F1's also under a lot of pressure of trying to get past Kevin as well. But I'm not too sure yet between these three drivers. They seem quite similar paced. Does seem now 10 laps of this race left to go, and it does seem Bran is looking to make a move on P3 for the bronze podium step. He has quite a bit of ERS left, so he might actually be able to get this move done quite quickly. But what we do see is William Talbot looking for a move. He's going to go side by side into turn 3. It's not going to work just yet for him. He actually runs out of the space there. Going in, he does have the inside line going into the final corner. It's just going to be a safety car. There's going to be a safety car. There's going to be a safety car. Safety car number 7 or 8 coming right up. This is where we'll see a load of people probably chugging into the pits with their soft tyres to probably take the final soft tyres, as we do see pretty much everyone going for those soft tyres. Severe collision with William Talbot, which has caused Specky Cabbage to go out of this race. Oh my days. Okay, I did not think that was going to happen. Cabbage, who was leading the majority of this race, out of the race now, unfortunately. I'm assuming that's going to be from contact of some sort. Some people going on the medium tyres. I'm not sure about that option. But the soft tyres are probably going to be the winner here. It's all about now. This is where Finn needs to be really careful. Needs to just spend all of his time trying to regain all of his ERS back. As you can see him chugging a tiny bit on his input of his brake pedal to try and get that ERS back, which it seems he's doing quite efficiently. But this is all up in the air now. This is Finn's first ever safety car pole position sat, so he needs to be quite well in this race. I'm not sure if he's been able to do it in the past. He needs to be quite careful here. This is the most amount of DNFs I think I've ever seen in an F1 race, I'll be honest. And I did not expect Zandvoort to be the track of that case. Nine or 8 laps left of this race now. This is where we're going to see the most interesting part of it happen. Everyone's going to have quite high ERS deployments. Yeah, 7 pit stops, 7 safety cars, 7 everything, mate. Thank you for being in, chat, bro. I know you're racing as well, so I do appreciate it. You've been on stream quite a few times as well. So, you being the only Aston Martin left, you're the only hope for Aston Martin now after unfortunately Bids having that retirement early on. I think I'm going to have nightmares about safety cars. It's probably quite a valid thing to have nightmares about now. There's still 6 people watching in chat, so thank you very much for watching. Obviously, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Getting closer to the 1.5 mark as we have the safety car coming in this lap, as we will spectate Brand for this rejoin as we do see the safety car going off into the distance. Hopefully one last time of racing here. Only about 8 laps left of racing, so only about 8 or 9 minutes or so. Could say it might be a bit longer left of racing. Now we're going to see if Finn can court the rest of the pack of guards. Will he do it? Yes, or will he do it later? He's going to go, and he has actually made no progress. Actually, no, he isn't going to go just yet. And he is gone finally, but no, he's not. I'm not sure what's happening yet. But he has gone once and for all, but I'm not sure that was probably the best idea. As we do see a sector 3 and 1 yellow flag. Not sure what that happens, but we do see going further back. We do see a car. I don't know who that is. The Alpha Tauri, unfortunately, getting on the grass, and it does seem we are still green now, so that's all that matters for now. But going further down, it does seem we're going to see a side by side here with both Red Bulls, and it seems trying to get past the McLaren of Jackie Garner as well. He's made quite a redemption out here in this race. He is going to try go for the inside move. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind for now. Obviously, he hasn't got much time left, but he has all of that overtake / ERS to use, and we might have DRS for the rest of the race as well, starting from the end of this lap. This is all coming down to quite an early stage of racing that we can't really predict now, because it's all up in the air. As we did see, Specky Cabbage was quite clear during this race, but unfortunately had that retirement as we do see William Talbot going into the water, and that's going to be another safety car. That's going to be another safety car. That's going to be another safety car. That's another safety car. As William Talbot unfortunately losing it going into the wall there. As we do see the new fastest lap of 1:10.6 since the end of the safety car. But we have lost half of the grid now, pretty much, to walls or just contact or just driving in general. But it's not going to be a safety car though. I am not complaining about that, but we do see now going into the final few corners of Sector 2, board with Finn starting to make quite a big gap for himself because of that DRS that hasn't been able to deploy just yet. Might be able to deploy at the end of this lap. We'll have to see. Cryplex though doing a quite good job once again, being up into P7 now. So there's going to be a side by side between the two cars. Cryplex trying to get the move done. The sausage Joe isn't going to work just yet for him. He's going to have to stay behind. And now, can he try to get the move done on the final 5 laps now? It's starting to be quite unpredictable. So we do see Mafandrew as well behind him. There's a bit of a gap between them both, but usually that can be a good thing though. He has used quite a bit of his ERS. The same with though Cryplex using pretty much all of it left. That's probably not the strategy in my opinion. In terms as it is, everyone still has quite a bit, and we do see Brand still have an 84% and that DRS and the soft tyres, so this might be all up in the air and to play for here in terms of the race win here. This has probably either been the most interesting and close racing we've seen probably all season. I'm grateful for it, obviously, but obviously the safety car has caused it to be quite a late race. Jones is actually sector 3 yellow flag, not sure what that is. It's a 110.2. That's the fastest lap of the race now. Four laps left to go. Can Brent take the pole, well, take the lead of the race, or do we see Finn maintain and take the win, or can we see anyone else make some sort of redemption arc? Because we see P6 trying to go at it. It seems these three drivers are very close with each other once again. Unfortunately, losing a tiny bit of time there. It seems Jackie Cabana trying to get a move done on his teammate of Sausage Joe isn't going to work just yet. Even though there's teammates in this, I'm not sure they are acting like teammates to a thing. As we do see a car going wide there, that seems to be Josh Rose. Not going to be a very happy Josh Rose, that's for sure. Josh Rose has retired from the session after seeming to hit the wall, I believe. And that's going to be... wow, that's going to be the 10th driver... well, no, the 9th driver to retire from the session today. Are we going to have to see a safety car because of that issue? Kevin still in P11. Not being able to overtake just yet. Still a sector 2, but we are still green. I feel like we have reached the max of safety cars that we can see, but we do see these two drivers are the drivers I'm mainly focused on now. It does seem Bram is just going ahead. Actually, I didn't realise that, but Bram gets ahead of Finn on lap 69 there. Going into turn 1 and using his overtake now to his advantage, but we do see Finn doesn't have as much overtake as Brand using a good chunk of it there going on that straight, but still has about a range of maybe 40 odd % between them both now. We do go further down. We do see Cryplex making moves now, currently in P6, looking to take P5 here, trying to get closer and closer to his qualification starting position, and at the moment he's on track to do it. Needs to get past both McLarens, so both PS users. It looks like he is going to try go for a move there going into the chicane. It is too far back to even think about it though. But P5 and P6, it seems Cryplex has more ERS, but now has the DRS. He's going to try to go inside there. He's actually going to have a tiny bit of a loose moment there to go side by side. Still has the ERS and the DRS, so they both flatline their ERS systems, and it does seem Cryplex goes up into P5 after Jackie Cabana suddenly closed the door halfway through the move. But they are both in the same position, and they are both still in the race. That is all that counts, and that's all we can ask for. Now, can he make it up to P4 there? Or Sausage Joe? I must say Cryplex has been probably my driver of the day, if I'm being honest. And it might be Swicky Cabbage as well. Those two drivers were doing pretty good. Josh Rose up there as well, unfortunately retiring. 2 laps after this race then. We do see now Brian's been able to make about a second and a half-ish gap, but it's fluctuating a tiny bit to P2, so I think it might be a comfortable lead there for him, unless anything catastrophic actually happens in the final 2 laps of the race going on. So penultimate lap now. Only one other sort of battle happening on track here, and it seems to be Cryplex getting closer now to the end. Jackie Cabana behind, because they did just move positions. However, what we do see as well is for P2 here, Finn losing all of his slipstream, unfortunately, and his ERS and his DRS assists. now has led him quite vulnerable to Gandy's behind in this Mercedes. Has a lap to do some sort of move here on him. Has the slipstream and the DRS on him now. Can he get this DRS done? No, he's not going to be able to get the DRS done on him. There seems there's 2 DRS zones on Zandvoort. I did not know that. The more you know. Does see another slipstream is going to be on him and the overtake, and he's going to get the move done way before either turn 1's a thing for him. And that's going to be Ganders up into P2, Finn down into P3. Can he maintain P3 though? There seems to be a 6-second gap going on to the final lap of this race now. Can he do it? As we do see Don Fotherington going to go for the inside line. It does seem he's going to keep it. Jackie Cabana goes for a bit of a later lunge, but it's not going to work for him. And Don Fotherington goes up into P6. Jackie Cabana down into P7. And the risks as well of Mfandro behind in the Aston Martin. We do see though, once again, we can see some sort of retaliation here from Finn going on to the final few corners now of the race. But we do see what is Jackie Cabana as well, unfortunately losing a lot of time to Don Fotherington as well. But Bram, who's been quite a skilled driver during this race, is getting closer to victory here as he's made a 1.1 second gap for himself going through the final corners now. Could use his overtake all to his advantage now, draining his ERS system, makes a bit of a gap for himself, and he's going to come home to take round 6 of Zandvoort here. Brand taking P1, Gandit's taking P2, and Finn taking P3. Huge congratulations to you 3 drivers. P4 Sausage Joe Kryplak taking P4 actually because of the penalty, so he goes in his original qualifying position, so very well done to Kryplak as well after a very up and down race for him. Followed by Don Fotherington, Jackie Cabana, Mfandro, Sausage Joe, Mills SP 2002, and Kevin, who is a few corners behind unfortunately. Oh, John, you're still here. Good to see you, mate. We do say the end time here, as there has been quite a few retirements from this race, and that is going to be the end of this session here. And it's been quite an interesting race to say the least. 8 safety cars in one session. Brad being the driver of the day according to F1, and I might have to agree, he has been quite on the ball as well. As we now go on to what is the rest of the calendar now, as we are on the halfway mark of this race, as we do see the next race being Sao Paulo in Brazil on the 6th of April, followed by Saudi Arabia on the 13th of April, and then my home Grand Prix of Silverstone on the 20th, followed by Hungary on the 27th, May the 4th being Austria, and then rounding out the entire season where the championship will be decided on the 11th of May at Barcelona. Thank you very much, Mfandro. I will see you guys in the next stream, and it's been very good to see so many people in chat, and I will see you next time. Have a great rest of your evening. Bye.